Howdy, it's Matt and welcome to this video, which is a overview to the Genesis FPV Flying Wing. Now she is here, she is ready for her maiden, which will be tomorrow. So we're going to be chatting about this wing. Now, if it's the first time you've been and seen this wing, what I would do is put a link in the top right hand corner for you, I think it's that side, to the unboxing of this wing, because it cost me 35 quid plus postage, which is about $45 US. Absolute bargain. Now I have been and made some changes, and I wanted to make this video so I could give you an overview to this wing before we take it out for its maiden tomorrow. Now also as a bonus is that I've also finally used this wing as a platform so I can create lots of other videos. So if you've not seen the video on how to laminate a model yet, there's a link into that in the, it's one of those corners, top right hand corner side, so that I'll show you how to laminate your models, and it is really straightforward. So let's talk about the wing itself. Now I actually asked for the model not to have the battery bay cut, and the reason for that is because I wanted to ensure that I hit CG with the setup which I was going to put on my model. So big hat tip to Rob over at Flying Wings, who sent me, I asked for a model, a wing kit or set which didn't have a battery bay cut out of it, and that's absolutely brilliant, and it arrived with that on there. Really straightforward build. All you basically do, you get two halves of the wings, you put the carbon fibre rod through in the middle, obviously with some glue in it, and you put some glue in the middle, put some pins in it, and you just leave it to set overnight on a flat surface. There's nothing more complicated than that. Now I did go on, I've sprayed my wing red. Now a massive tip for you is what I did, if I turn it around that way round, is what I did for this wing, and I do it with all the other wings, is that I use some just straightforward primer paint, and I'll get a can so you can see what it is. Just a white primer. Now, so this is from Holford's, which is an auto shop here in the United Kingdom. It's just some white primer, and I sprayed the foam first so that we get a nice white base, and then put, and again someone I'm sure will ask about the colour as well, it's a Fiat Red Orange from Holford's in the United Kingdom. And it's so bright, that camera is not doing the red the justice, because it is, now that it's been laminated, it is so rich. It is just a beautiful colour. It's my favourite colour spray paint out of them all. It is that, again, Fiat Red Orange. Brilliant stuff. So just sprayed it on. For the lines on the underside, I just used some plain masking tape. I'm sure you've like painter's tape to do the lines, and again that's all you need underneath. You just need a visual reference, red on the top, white on the side, and just some lines so you know which way round the model is if you're flying it line of sight. We do have technically we have two 3D printed parts in this wing. We have the camera mounts up here on the nose, which I'm sure that's coming out on there. Again, just look at the beauty of that laminate and that red colour as well. It's so much deeper in real life, you're not seeing the full gorgeousness there. Anyway, that camera mount on the end, I'll put a link to that in the video description, the same for all the other parts which I'm using. And that was off Thingiverse. Big hat tip to Aaron, who designed that part. And that's got a Runcam Swift in the nose. Yeah, brilliant FPV camera. So, and that's one which I had spare out of another wing down there, so I've put that in the nose. Then we've got the Eachine 526 or TX526 video transmitter, switchable between 25, 200 and 600 milliwatts. It's got the little screen on the back as well, and it does all the major bands. Brilliant. One thing to note about that video transmitter is that it does use an RP estimate antenna. Again, I'll put links to all the parts in the video description for you. That has to be my favourite video transmitter out of all of them which I've been through here, for 5.8. Yeah, cheap, $12, and push button, and does all the power ranges and also the bands as well. Brilliant stuff. Moving on to the model itself, I have laminated it. Again, I've put that link in the top right hand corner. Just press the eye icon to watch that, or wait to the end of this video. I have been to set this one up with iNav. Now, you can actually see that on there. Now, you may have seen a previous video when I had this open. All I've done is use some core flute to make a core flute lid on there, and in there we have a F4 flight controller, flight control board in there. That's the one with the current sensor. Now, if you don't know what iNav is in the top right hand corner is a link to the series on iNav, which is a very inexpensive flight controller for not only flying wings but normal fixed wing and quadcopters too, which sports GPS return to home features and lots of other modes and a cool full-blown OSD as well. It's specifically designed for fixed wing models, so if you'd like to know more about that, again there's a link in the top right hand corner. So I have put iNav in there, mainly because I want the on-screen display, I want the features which come with iNav. It isn't absolutely required for a wing like this. Running it naked, almost, just pure FPV would be perfectly fine, especially if you were using something like a Runcam Swift 2, which has got the voltage sensor on there, or you could put a hub OSD board in there so you get an idea on current and flight time, battery voltage. Anyway, so I've got iNav in the middle. We've got a Predator 40 amp ESC, not too sure how that's going to hold out with the motor and the propeller combo, which you may have guessed is rather large. Now this is a Turnigy D, let me get this right, a 35-36-5 1450 kV motor with an 8x45 prop on the back end, which she will be run on 4S. Now that motor is a motor which I've used on the Texumo wing, and again I've got two Texumos here. One runs on 4S and one runs on 3S, and they're about as fast as each other because they're both overpropped and they both use this motor. And they are crazy fast, but I've chosen that motor and prop combo for some form of efficiency, believe it or not. And the thing is that one mod which may not have been too obvious to you is that I have cut out this section here more than what was how it originally came. And the reason why I did that is because I want to keep as much stuff away from this propeller as possible to keep the noise down on the propeller. We had an issue with another flying wing only 2 weeks ago or so, and I don't want to repeat of that, so I'm being very careful of noise, and you'll see there's plenty of space all around the propeller, so that will keep the prop wash noise down, because anything near a propeller blade, in front of it, behind it, to the side of it, will cause excess noise, and that's not what we want. Again, it's fine if you're in the United States and you're flying in deserts, nobody cares, but here in the United Kingdom you've got somebody literally only just a field over, and we need to be a little bit respectful to our neighbours. Coming back onto point, straightforward, I used E6000 glue to stick everything on together. On the bottom, not particularly exciting down there. I'm sure you've seen the video where I showed you how to put the bottom plate on using core flute. Really straightforward, and a bit of carbon fibre rod in there as well. D4R2 receiver up underneath the wing, nice and straightforward in there. Again, all flawlessly mounted on here and laminated on the top. You will notice, well hopefully you can notice, that there's a little pin just there, and I've got two pins underneath, and this wing balances out perfectly, again just because I set everything up beforehand, and with a 2200 4S zippy compact battery in there and the Runcam HD camera on the nose, is that it balances perfectly whatever it was, 200 millimeters away from the nose. So that's why I've got two pins underneath there, just to get it to balance out. Oh, so one other point, servos. I am using Corona 2.3, I want to say 239s, I might be wrong. Do check the video description for those. I think they're 239 metal gears, they're 2.7 kilograms. No, they're 3.8 kilos of torque, so some really decent servos in there. And the only thing, to be honest, which wasn't really included in the kit, and it's the only one thing which I can really put my finger on, it goes, I wish they improved, is that they did not include, in fact when I just pulled one off, is this tiny little piece of plastic, and it's to do with the control horn. And what I'll do, I'll put again another video reference for you, top right hand corner, is how I set up the control horns. Is that one thing which was missing from the kit is that tiny little plastic down there, and I'll put a link to that in the video description. They are absolutely brilliant. They're quick release, but they're also super strong. I'm thinking of another wing which I've got here, which is just over there, and I've put that in a tree so many times, and I've never broken the end of that. I've broken the control horn on the servo, I've broken the control horn at the back, but I've never broke the connection at the front using one of those clips. So I really do like those clips, and it's the one thing which was missing from the kit. But you can't really complain because I only paid 35 quid plus postage. So for me, that was an absolute bargain. So this is the they call it a Genesis EP wing. Okay, and I'd like to stress that this wing was bought out of my own money for my own abuses, which includes maybe hitting the odd tree or hedge, and it was not a freebie for review. It wasn't, you know the story by now. I buy these models out of my own money and we'll find out if they're any good. Personally, up until this stage, I'm really impressed. You all probably already know, those of you which have been following along with the story so far, is that I bought this wing because I was jealous of Dave's excuse me, Dave's wing flew fantastically well, and Andrew's been and got one. Even Foam Dave, or we used to call him Balsa Dave, but he flies too much foam, so we've named him Foam Dave now. Even Foam Dave has got one of these on the way, so there's going to be at least 4 of these in the sky very, very shortly. And ultimately, if I wrap this round a tree at full knacker and rip a wing off and it's beyond repair, I'm not going to cry because it was 35 quid plus postage, and I've enjoyed the building experience. I hope that you've been and enjoyed the building experience, especially with the collection of videos which have come out lately. And again, look at the end for the full playlist on the Genesis wing. And on that note, the only really thing left to say is make sure you hit the subscribe button underneath this video if you're not already subscribed, because we've got her Maiden tomorrow, and we will be chucking her in the sky, and fingers crossed, everything goes fine. But we never know because it's a Maiden, it's never flown before. So like I said, there's a red button underneath this video, so where it says Matthew Ogborn, I'm Matt by the way, howdy. Click on subscribe and look out for the update from YouTube. Again, if you want to be updated, if you want YouTube to let you know, press the little bell icon next to it as well, and YouTube will let you know the next moment the next video is out. So, time for me to go. This is the Genesis EP flying wing. It's made out of EPP. It cost me 35 quid plus postage, which is about 6 quid in the United Kingdom. I think that was an absolute bargain. It's one of the cheapest, biggest wings I've bought. Pleasure to build, to say the least. Looks the part, super slick, and again, look at the profile on that one. Remember, this wing was bought out of my own money for my own abuses, and we will be abusing her very shortly. And as you can tell, I'm kind of impressed with it, because again, it was only 35 quid bonus. So I don't know what else more to say. If you have any questions or comments about this wing, do let me know in the comments section underneath this video. And as always, from myself, Matt, see you soon, cheerios. And I need to come around there and hit stop on the camera. So on that note, cheerios.